He cross. Hi, my name is Anna and I'm a singer.
Hi, my name is Peyton and I am a dancer.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are reacting to VICTON for the very first time. Kind of.
So, yes, we're reacting to VICTON today and we're watching Howling and then Mayday, which are their two most recent releases. We know that they were supposed to have a comeback, but it got postponed. Going into this, just to let y'all know, we don't really know anything about VICTON at all, besides Han Sung-woo is in the group and we reacted to his solo Sacrifice a couple months ago. So, like, we took a cursory look at their profile. But yeah, just like warning in advance if like we're saying like, oh, the guy with whatever instead of their name, because we don't know.
But yeah, that being said, let's just go.
Okay, this was the beginning of this year.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear anything at first. I was like...
It looks angsty.
I know, it looks really angsty.
Peyton. I like how the piano is working with the bass. 99 problems. Okay.
Oh, that was really good, like, accent on the music. Pomegranate, Forbidden Seed.
Oh.
Greek mythology.
Oh. That did not go where I was expecting it to go for the chorus.
Mm. I feel like there's a lot of symbolism in this.
I know.
That's a really beautiful shot.
The way that the light is reflecting on the glitter.
The glitter, yeah.
My thought. Oh, the eyes.
Yeah, it's called
Howling.
It matches his eyeshadow.
Oh.
That was.
It's like blood.
Mm. Mm.
When he crushes it.
Mm-hmm.
What is he recording? Or was that recording? I don't know.
Yeah, his dancing's very distinct. I remember it from his solo.
Aww. It's really interesting.
Mm.
The range is okay. I was gonna say like the piano, but also I was waiting for it to like move more.
That was a cool ending.
Also, my thought this whole time is that the blue hair has been very eye-catching. What? Interesting.
First thing from both of us. These were the requests we got, which is why we started with Howling. But there's a lot of symbolism in this, and it feels like it could be a storyline. Is it a storyline? Did we start in the middle? Because if we started in the middle, we're gonna be sad. So let us know. Let's talk about the dancing first. Honestly, when I heard the word howling, I was thinking immediately like beast, wolves, it's gonna be very aggressive, very like in your face. And then this was not that. Which makes sense because like the type of beast they're talking about is this like seductive, tempting, like I'm gonna make you come back to me. And I just made Anna uncomfortable with the word seductive. But that's like the type of beast that they're going for. And the dance is so reflective of that. Like the dance is so smooth the entire time, and it kind of draws you in and it makes you want to be like, oh, like what's happening? It almost is like it's hypnotizing you, to be completely honest, because so much of it is very round that it kind of reminds me of one of those things that spins and you're just like, and you can't stop looking at it. And a really good example of that is in the chorus when they're doing the oh, whatever it is, in the howls in the chorus. And that line is really beautiful, like the way they're dancing it, because it's a lot of head rolls, like body isolation circles, but it's one continual movement, but it moves down their body and it changes which part of their body is rolling every time the ah or the o is re-emphasized. But it's never like a snap. It's like 1, 2, and it's like very enchanting. And the whole dance has that sort of fluid quality, which again, mesmerizing, draws you in. They're literally saying, you will come back to me, not I'm gonna come and take you. So, and then honestly, the most aggressive part of the entire thing is the very end. And it had like that sort of aggressiveness that I was expecting. And it's when one of the members is like walking through the circle, like they're gonna leave. And then Han Sung-woo is like, no. And they get like stopped and it jolts. And it kind of took me off guard. It felt like coming out of like being hypnotized or something. Because it was like, what? But I also was thinking, because when we watched Han Sung-woo's solo, he very much had this like smooth musical like quality to his dance. And because this is the first VICTON song we've watched, I'm like, has this always been the quality of dancing that they had, or is it a more recent change? So I'm gonna have to go like watch other stuff to see. Last thing, symbolism. So much symbolism, but the one that was most interesting to me was the pomegranate, because obviously it's from Greek mythology. It's how Hades kept Persephone in the underworld. He didn't have to go back and get her, like she was tied to it. She had to go back for like the winter months. But also just more broadly, pomegranates are also viewed, one of the things that they're a symbol for is power, and like having power over someone and being like a seductive, tempting power. And I was like, oh, especially when he crushes it. I was like, oh my gosh. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Anna's turn.
I'm going to start off my comments with something that I feel a little bit like about before I get to the positive stuff, because happy endings. So to be honest, it's just the one thing that I kind of referenced at the end of the reaction, where I said that the range of the song is like, it feels like it's been in this box, and I just wanted it to be a bit more dynamic. It was just missing that last like 2 or 3%, you know? And for me, it's because it was a little repetitive. And for like really upbeat, like dance songs, it's easier to get away with being repetitive because you're just like riding on that energy. But since this one is more like restrained, refined, it's harder to get away with that. One thing that I really wish is that they just had more variations for each section, like those slight differences but that are noticeable. I liked hearing their voices, and they really should have used it more, because from what I could hear of their individual singing parts, I really liked it. So why didn't they use more background vocals? You have the opportunity to use so many more background vocals, and their voices would suit it really well, especially with this vibe of song that's happening. Because it, for one thing, having layered background vocals, maybe like layered background vocals in like a chord progression or just like more ad-libs throughout it, acapella moment please, it would suit the vibe of the song too. It would also just like add a different texture to it as well, especially if they were singing in a different style, because like while they're singing the melody, their voices have a lot of breath mixed in to suit like the whole seductive vibe of the song, you know, we get it. And also like they have a lot of exhales at the ends of phrases, like exhale. And that adds to the vibe. So I honestly, I wish they had more background vocals. But yeah, that was my main like thing. But I also tied it in with things that I liked. And then like a couple other things instrumentally are just like, in the very beginning, obviously they use the snaps. Come on. You know what's gonna happen when they have snaps. And also I had mentioned how the piano line is working with the bass line I really liked. And also there's like this high-pitched synth that reverbs a lot, and just basically all of the instruments are setting up this whole like reverb in your head, pulling you in. I'm really buying into that whole hypnosis thing that you have going on. But yeah, those were all of my comments. So basically I liked it, but I was just like missing those last couple details, you know?
The cherry on top.
Yeah, it would have been the cherry on top. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Next. Okay, so now we are going to be watching VICTON Mayday, which came out just like 2-3 months after Howling. So they probably are connected?
I really hope they're connected.
Alright, let's start.
They're connected.
Question? Answer.
Yeah, well, he's falling down. Oh.
Ooh. Oh my god, do you know where the set is?
So many groups have filmed there.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, but who are you? Huh?
Oh my gosh, is it Greek mythology?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna feel like such a genius. I think it's Han Sung-woo, right? He's the one that fell originally in Howling.
What is this? All the planets?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
No? Oh, it's just
It
switching.
changed. Is this their style all the time?
I like this. Wait. 잠깐만. Okay. Okay, so far I like this one. There we go.
Sorry. Okay, wait.
Are you okay? There's my background vocals, I guess.
It's that same seductive, like slow, tempting dance style.
But it's different.
Yeah, but it's the same, like,
This one
feeling.
puts you more... is more dangerous.
Red Road, okay. Connected Fates. Oh my gosh.
Oh. Oh, if this part was layered more. I hear what they're doing. Give me more. Oh.
Even without the effect of like slowing it down, that part would look really cool in the dance.
Oh. Silence. Oh.
Oh, that's like choreography from Howling. Okay, so in the interest of making both of our comments make more sense, we would like to inform all of you that we are interpreting this because of the Mayday, things in the song, things in the dance, things in the lyrics, like SOS, etc., as they are on a battleship or they're on a ship of some kind, and that's kind of where the song is coming from. Honestly, we kind of had this thing about pirates, so on to my comments. So yes, like Anna said in the reaction, we had a little bit of a miscommunication because I was talking about the dance and she was talking about the song. But I agree with what she said. It is still that like hypnotic, seductive feeling, but it puts you a little bit more on edge. It makes you anticipate a little bit more. And as soon as I started watching the dance practice and watching the full dance, I was like, oh my gosh, because the dance is like that too. Like for instance, the very first part of the dance, first of all, it's like matched with the falsetto singing and it's this very like seductive draw you in. And then right afterwards, when it changes parts, I cannot talk about music, so bear with me here. There's this sort of like percussive noise, I'm guessing some sort of like synth noise in the background, and they're walking on it. But then when they step, they kind of like reverb and they're coming straight forward, and it's like this predator like stalking, but like kind of toying with you, like I'm coming, but like just a second, and I'm coming, but just a second. But then overall, while it does make you a little bit more like anxious, a little bit more anticipatory, a little bit more nervous, the dance itself still has that hypnotizing, seductive quality to it, and it really feels like it's drawing you in, which honestly makes you even more nervous because it's like you can't fight it. And a lot of that stems from the choreography. Like their dances, or at least for Howling and Mayday, they're very round and they're very open and large, but the end of the movement closes. So it makes you feel like you're being enveloped in something and like you're being drawn in, but you don't really have a choice to it. It's like they're capturing you. And a really good example of that is the first movement in the chorus. They open and then they close. And so that's kind of like the seductive part, but they keep that anticipatory feeling with like points of percussiveness, because this dance is more percussive than the last one. Like there are actually points of like in it. And it's usually like there'll be some big, really round movement, and then it's like bum, bum, at the very end, and so it's like playing with that whole like I'm coming for you and then I'm gonna get you. But yeah, final thing, this is how I want to wrap my comment section up. For VICTON fans, question: are all of their songs this style, or is this a more recent thing? Please let me know, because if you've ever watched our videos before, you already know this, and in case you're new to this channel, let me tell you right now, this is very much my style of music. So like, let me know. Anna's turn.
So obviously Peyton and I discussed like, yes, this song, especially the chorus, gives me like piratey vibes is what I told her. The bass that you hear throughout the song, it's very punchy, so you're going to feel it very strongly, and it's very like, deep and grounded. So when you count this song, it's in 4/4, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, but the way that the bass is emphasizing it, so it first plays on the 1, but with the 1, it resonates a little, like it reverbs a little bit, it has a little bit of an echo on it, and then it plays again on the 3 of the measure, and that one is very punchy and like closing, because you feel it in like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how their dancing feels like, right?
Yes, oh my god, wait.
That's so cool!
That's so cool!
They're dancing with so much musicality. Anyways, now that that initial thing is out of the way, because that's, I think, the biggest factor contributing to this whole, like, I don't want to keep saying pirates, but like the ship feeling vibe of it. This song has a lot of elements that I felt like was like the 2-3% missing from Howling. So like one of those things is just like they have so many more layers and details that make it more interesting. So like one example of that is in the very beginning, they have these triplets that are playing. It's a synth sound playing these 8th note triplets. It cuts out and then comes back in the second half of the second verse. And those triplets add something more delicate. For one thing, it's dividing the beat up a lot more, but also the sound, since it's like higher pitch and it's not as grounded, it adds something more delicate. But then that's also interesting because the song closes with triplets, but they aren't 8th note triplets, they're quarter note triplets. So it's a little bit more spaced out. So I'm like, you're starting and closing with this. Granted, it's like a slight variation, but like, what does this mean? I haven't figured out yet. Another thing I kind of referenced in the reaction that I got the harmonies that I wanted in the chorus. Granted, like I wouldn't mind a little bit more background vocals, but you know, like I'm singer, I want more background vocals all the time. But the harmonies in the chorus were really cool because it goes with my whole like shanty idea, because it's like group chant moment, they're all singing together and like doing this thing, and the chorus is when you feel that rhythm, that beat the most strongly. And then last thing is, it's a really small detail during the end of the bridge when they're building up to lead into the last chorus, but they start playing strings. And it's like the strings that you hear playing in like Pirates of the Caribbean. You know? I talked for a long time before I ramble for even longer. In case you couldn't tell, I liked this song.
Okay, TLDR is, if you do not count Han Solo's solo, then this is our first time reacting to VICTON. And if you cannot tell by our comments, then we were thoroughly intrigued. And while both songs were very good, we obviously were very sold on Mayday. Like, very sold.
We're just gonna leave it at that.
We're gonna leave it at that. But yeah, please answer our questions in the comments, and thanks for watching.
Alright, yeah, so that being said, if you enjoyed this reaction and also have enjoyed these releases from VICTON, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe, ding, turn on your notification bell. Ooh, that was loud. And bye!